Welcome to my first video from IT Advice. Today I'm going to show you the A to Z, taking your stock standard Galaxy S3, routing it, loading a custom ROM, restoring your data, backing it up, the whole shebang as they say. So first of all, I've got a pretty standard setup here, made a few folders, and what we're going to do first is install the Nova launcher. This part here, your app drawer and so on, that's all part of your launcher. Now on Samsung, this is one of the things where TouchWiz really doesn't shine. Okay, it's quite unresponsive, it's not very configurable, it doesn't give you optimal use of your space on your screen. I want to be able to back up and restore my home screens so that I don't need to reset up all these icons and folders every time. So I'm going to go to the Play Store and we're going to search for Nova. Okay, so if you type in Nova, it's going to be the first result, and we're going to just go for the free version. The premium version gives you more configurability, etc. So the Nova launcher has been installed. We will now proceed to open it. What you'll see now is it presents you with a screen that looks a little bit different. I'm going to go and say import from another launcher. It will pick up TouchWiz Home, which is the standard Samsung one, and what it's done now is imported the majority of what it could. So I'm going to just move a few things around. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now the beauty of Nova is I can now actually go to Nova settings and do a backup of how this looks. So I'll just simply go on backup. I'll put it the date and time is fine for now. It will save it on the device, and it will now ask us which launcher do we want to use. So we're going to select Nova and choose always. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Let's maybe add one more in here. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install Titanium Backup. Titanium Backup is the app that we will use to back up all our apps. You'll see it requires root access, and it's been downloaded more than 10 million times, so you know this is a pretty solid app. Now this is also an easy way for us to see, is the phone currently rooted or not. Now, as I said, this is stock standard phone at this stage, haven't done anything yet. Immediately as we open it, it says sorry, could not acquire root privileges. Okay, and you'll see root access failed. So this phone is currently not rooted. We will now go and first root the phone. Okay, now for this, we're going to go ahead and just do a power off on the phone. Okay, so we're going to get into rooting the phone, and I've created download links for all the files that you will require. So they will be numbered accordingly, and the first step is going to be to install the Samsung USB driver. Now, according to everything I've read on the internet so far, so I'm going according to quite a few guides that I've seen, and we'll just go through the options here. They say it's crucial that you install this driver first before you connect your phone, and also you need to do a reboot of your computer. So that's completed. We will now go ahead and restart our computer. So we've just installed the USB driver on the laptop for our Samsung Galaxy S3. We will now go ahead and put the phone into download mode. Now there's a little bit of a trick here. What you need to do is press 3 buttons at the same time. So it's your power button, the lower volume button, as well as the home button. So the phone is currently off. We're going to press all 3 at the same time and we'll get this screen here. You'll see it says on the screen volume up to continue. Okay, now we've got the phone into the download mode. Okay, so we've connected the phone with the USB cable in download mode. We will now go ahead and open the program called Odin. I'm running version 3.07. There are newer and older versions that slightly differ. Now, first important thing to look out for is the message here saying added. If it says that, then you know it's all good. The ID COM here, that can differ depending on your computer and setup. What we'll do now is we'll select PDA and we will now go to our root file. So number 3 on the list is root. We'll simply select a file and we will say start. The phone will now restart and the rooting will take place. We can now disconnect the USB cable from the phone. So as easy as that. Okay, so everything still looks the same. Big question now, has the phone really been rooted? For this, we'll go and we'll open Titanium Backup again. You'll see that it asks for root rights. There we go, super user grant. Okay, so we can safely say our phone has been rooted now. While we are in Titanium Backup, I am going to go ahead and do a backup of our apps. Okay, so while we are in Titanium Backup, let's use this opportunity to back up our apps. So let's go ahead. You'll see there's a number of actions here. I'm just going to go for backup all user apps. Okay. The system apps and so on, that's specific to Samsung, and at this stage that's not really something that I want. Okay, we can actually, I'm going to deselect Samsung in-app purchases. That's not something we really use. The rest is all good, and we can go ahead and say yes. So it will go through my apps one by one, back them up. Okay, so our Titanium backup has finished. So we can safely say the app that we wanted to back up has been backed up. We will now go ahead and do a backup of our photos. So for this, we will simply connect the USB cable to the phone again, and on the computer this is going to be a simple data copy. So the phone will detect, Windows will do its thing, and now you'll see there's a new icon called GT-i9300. I'll go in there, and these are all the files, some of them hidden, but the ones that we need will be here. So at this stage, the only thing I'm going to need is the pictures. But be very careful here. There might be a few files and the pictures that you want, but normally all your photos will be stored under DCIM. So if we have a look at those two, you can see there's quite a few photos there. So literally just going to go copy and make a little backup folder here. And we'll paste the data. So we've backed up our apps, we're backing up our photos. To back up the rest of our contacts, SMSs, whatever else, I'm going to be using Snappea. There's a number of ways to go here. Alternatively, also, you can go the Google route, have your contacts synchronized with Google. You can also get an app that can do your SMSs and call logs. That's something I actually use, but for this project, I'm just going to go ahead and do the Snappea route. So first of all, I've went to snappea.com. I've downloaded Snappea for Windows. Have a look at the download link there, and I'm going to go ahead and install it now. Now on the phone, you also need to ensure that you've got Snappea installed. Okay, so to do a Snappea backup, we'll go to the Play Store and search for the app called Snappea. Now I've got it typed in there. The first result, just check the spelling, go ahead and install that. Okay, Snappea has been installed. We'll just go and open it. I'm simply going to go ahead, connect the USB cable, and on the phone it will make a little noise to indicate that it's been connected, and if I go onto my computer, it's going to give me a connection screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and link this one, and we will simply click on the backup button. So it gives us a few options here: contacts, messages, and app files. So you can also back up your apps from here. I'll simply go away. Let's select our backups here and start the backup. Okay, so super quick to back up the contacts and messages. We'll now just wait for the apps. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go disconnect, and so our backup's been done. Next step is now to install the recovery software. Now, the recovery software enables you to download custom ROMs. So I'm going to shut down the phone again. Okay, so we're going to be putting the phone back into download mode. So remember, it's volume down, power and home button all at once. There we go, and then volume up to continue. So the phone is in download mode. On the computer, we'll go ahead and open Odin again. You'll see at this stage, nothing's connected or added. I will be connecting the cable back in again. As soon as I've done that, on Odin you'll now see a message that mentions that it has been added. So we'll go back to the PDA button here, and now we'll go to our CWM folder, which has got the Philz touch recovery file. I personally prefer Philz Touch. It's just a little bit more advanced, a little bit smarter than your normal clockwork recovery. I'll click on start. It will automatically reboot the phone. Okay, what we will do now is copy over our custom ROM file that we would like to flash on our phone. So I'm gonna connect the USB cable again. Okay, so on my phone I'm just going to do a normal copy and paste of our SuperNexus ROM. There's two files we'll be transferring. The first is our ROM file, and the second one is what they call GApps, which is just short for Google Apps. Okay, so those are the two files we're going to need. So that's been done. We can now disconnect the cable from the phone again. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll switch off the phone again, and this time we'll start it back up in the Philz recovery mode. Okay, now to get us into the Philz recovery mode is different to how we did it up until now to get the phone into download mode. So take good notice of this. This time around we'll be using the volume up button instead of volume down, and we'll let go of the power button as soon as we see the Samsung logo. So I'll be pressing all three buttons together: home, power up and power, volume up and power. And I let go of the power button as soon as I see the Samsung logo. Okay, so this is what the Philz recovery menu looks like. First, what we're going to do is we're going to do a complete backup of the system. Now, you'll see there's a backup and restore button. Now, this backup makes an image of your phone. So if you want to go straight back to your Samsung software, you'll simply use the restore function here. So we're going to go and say backup to SD card. Okay, so it said there's 23 gigabytes of free space. It needs about 1.8 gigabytes to do this backup, and it's going to go straight into the backup mode. Now this will take a while, so I will be forwarding this as we go along. The last step of the backup is to create the MD5 sum file, which is crucial. When you do a restore function later on, it would first of all verify the MD5 sum, and only if it verifies correctly will it proceed with the restore. This just avoids a corrupted backup file being restored, which can possibly brick your phone. Okay, we've now completed the backup on Philz Touch, which is what they call a Nandroid image backup. This allows you to do a complete restore back to your factory Samsung software. So first step is to do a wipe data factory reset. Now in Philz Touch, they've got the option to say clean to install a new ROM. So it does whatever is required for you to get the system in the right process so you can install the software. Okay, so it's done the format, the resetting, etc. We can now go and say install zip. Choose zip from SD card, and right at the bottom we'll have our two files which we transferred from the PC. So first of all we will flash the SuperNexus zip file. So the SuperNexus zip file installation has completed. I'm going to go one back, and then I'm also going to install the gaps. That's our Google Apps, so that's our Play Store, etc. Okay, install Google Apps, yes. And that's completed. So we will now simply go back and reboot the system. So we've installed the new ROM. So we've taken our Galaxy S3 from Android 4.1.2 to 4.4.2, the latest version of Android, also known as KitKat. So the first time that it starts up, it will take quite a bit longer as it is busy setting up in the background. Thereafter, reboots are pretty quick. Okay, so we're going to be jumping into our basic setup. I'll just go for English United Kingdom. I'm going to skip the Wi-Fi for now. And I'm not going to set up a Google account right now. Okay, so I've got more than one launcher to go with. I'll just go with anyone, as we will be installing Nova Launcher in any case. Okay, so we've got KitKat running on our S3. To confirm that, we'll just go to about 4.4.2 on our i9300. We've loaded our new SuperNexus ROM, and we've got basically nothing going in the background. We're going to be using the titanium backup to avoid unnecessary data usage. So I'm going to go into the Play Store and I'm going to search titanium. Okay, so I didn't spell it right, but at least figured it out. Okay, so titanium backup has been installed. We'll go ahead and open it. We'll grant super user access. Okay, now we'll go and we'll restore a backup. Okay, restore missing apps with data. So it's actually picked up our backup and it's seeing that these apps hasn't been installed yet. So they're all selected. We'll just go yes, and it will start restoring. Now, unfortunately, for each one, you do need to press install and done. Okay, and our backup has been completed. Now it's also going to ask us which launcher we want to use, since Nova Launcher has now been installed. and I'll say always. And now the beauty with Nova Launcher is that we can restore the backup. So I'm going to go Nova settings. Okay, so I've got my two backups here. I'm going to go for the newest one at 1020. I'm going to say OK. And there we go. Okay, so some of the shortcuts are not the same because it doesn't have the same applications. So we'll just redo those. Like for instance, that's the phone. Just remove it, and we'll pick the right phone for, and this one I think was Hangouts, so we'll remove that. And there you go. Widget has been restored. To restore our contacts and SMSs, we're going to be using Snappea. So I'm going to connect with USB cable to my laptop. And Snappea will automatically open on the laptop. I'll just say OK there. And now we can actually just restore our backup. So we'll choose the backup.